a direct way to evolve you toward that concept, that is to say toward death, in an organized way, which means people's preparation for this, where all are taken directly, not forced, according to the level of conscious reality they have, as well as just the opposite, that is to say a direct trip toward life, details and experiences never known to human beings before, at least according to certain historical annals of yours. The surrender, or what is known as giving up, to be able to enter another state, is something similar to death. It is to die to a state to be able to be recognized by another state. Well, we know that you cannot do this involuntarily. People have dominion of these actions. Even though some people may commit suicide, everything is already within a previously established plan. None of you dies or commits suicide because you want this or because you have dominion over your own life or over your own death. And it is here where we offer all the preparations to this respect.
We offer a measured and understood slavery, where we as your classmates can as much be your slaves as your masters, where all this goes towards a secular's educational preparation. We offer what we don't have to give to you. This is a very important point in the education of your children, as in them educating you from diverse contexts. What one doesn't have is something that really in every context or reality, even fantasy, in any state is it possible to find what one doesn't have, because it is not yet something, and it is here where the biggest wealth of evolution of the races resides, and I will try to explain this a little. Among you it is said that who doesn't have anything to give, really doesn't have anything to give, and therefore doesn't have a specific value, that looking within something is found to give, and should be given but which has been found as something possible to give unto whoever, especially to their children or their descendants. An interesting point is, where it is possible to measure what one doesn't have, measuring in others that which they are taking from one that has nothing, so as to have nothing themselves either. Who really has nothing to give, should be so convinced, and also who that has absolutely nothing to give, not even hunger or life, nor death, and when this is achieved can then give that, and those that receive can then measure the possibility of themselves not being in any context, starting from not having, that is to say where nobody has and nobody has to have, the one who has, simply cannot be there. Nobody would really accuse the one that doesn't have for not having, and it would be known that it is not necessary to request of him in no way, yet on the contrary the one that has really has, and has everything, a lot of hunger, a lot of life, a lot of death, etc. For those that are dying of hunger are really dead for so much hunger that it is the same thing if they were full of hunger and for that reason die.
We offer, not that direction that poor be united or that they share what they have or don't have, but the equivalence of the measure of those who measure such things, those that see this and want an equality of things. We don't offer such an equality, since this only leads to the same starting point. It so happens that when you want to all to have the same possibilities, you do the opposite and therefore nobody reaches anything, even though you do access something. Therefore we do not offer that which could be the same, but rather they be measured by their own measure of equality, that which is measured by all according to the behavior of that equality, so that whoever offers more than what he has, is measured by this. Therefore each one has not what is deserved, but what occurs, and everything that occurs is seen by all just as what has to occur. It's as though to each one was given a measure of all the wealth and a measure of all the poverty, and when you manage to even both out, it is not the end of everything in harmony, lives and effectiveness or evolution. It is only the beginning of the measures, because that is where you begin to measure how to give wealth or poverty to others. And this is where you begin to see the realities within this poverty or wealth.
We offer levels of preparations of poor people and of rich people, not so that the wealth of the rich be removed to be given to the poor, or the other way around, but to modify the laws and pacts between poor and rich, also those that are in between. No human has been designated to disseminate wealth or poverty among the beings, yet all are appointed channels for the distribution of all of this, so as to be measured by the certain moment arrives which is not precisely when you die. We offer to begin and to finish the day, and the days as well as the weeks, the months and the years, under your guide, since the opposite of this, that we begin the days under your guide and all of this, is what has always been done. It is now time to turn the page. We have not had, and neither have, nor will we have problems in continuing in the same way as up to now, that is to say obeying no orders, since revealing ourselves to you is something that even though we may do it, you will not be able to see us, and it is time now we offer that you be able to see us. For we may guide you in everything, from eating, what to do, and everything to the smallest detail does not account for any level of submission on your behalf nor a break from all you want to do, in no way, because everything has been considered in each one of you, in a determined time, a time to the being that is accelerated in the events, as well as delayed in them. It maintains you in the state in which you are of the illness, where this is not seen as illness, in the same way, it will have the same effect, not so much of putting you to sleeping every time, but of making sleepy the senses of slumber. You are convinced that the daily acts of what is your lives, even though they may lead to mistaken steps, by being made by a conscience within you that tells you that you are entitled to make a mistake the times you won't. This is not so, of course, according to the concept of what is mistaken or what is not. This is the reason why you have always functioned in the relativity of concepts. But that relativity of concepts has not been really followed within the relativity itself.